Welcome to Speakeasy Spirits. Today, I want to talk to you about flavored spirits. We're talking about things like Malibu, Fireball, or this Elvis Midnight Snack. This is supposed to be a peanut butter, bacon, and banana flavored whiskey, or whiskey. It's only 35% alcohol and it's had additives put in. That makes it not really a whiskey. This is now a liqueur based on whiskey. And man, is it a liqueur, because this thing is packed with sugar. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know by now I give flavored spirits a pretty hard time. You might have seen me try to use this Nuka dark spiced rum, or you've heard me talk some bad shit about Malibu before. And sugar, like this bottle is packed with, is my main complaint about flavored spirits. Now, some of them know what they are and they stay in their lane. Like Fireball, you'll find it in big plastic buckets of mini bottles. That's because they know it's only good for shooting and nobody's going to try making cocktails with it. Then you get something like this bottle of Midnight Snack, which by all appearances tries to pass itself off as a real whiskey, and it's on the shelf right next to actual bourbons and ryes. So is this something you could drink like a regular whiskey? Not really. Let's give it a taste. Even pouring it, I can tell how viscous it is. It's syrupy because it's just packed with sugar. On the nose, I'm mostly getting hints of chocolate with a little banana on the end, but it's not that real banana. It's that fake banana like you'd buy in little Runt candies. The first thing that hits you is just how sweet this is. I think this is as sweet, maybe even sweeter, than a 1-to-1 simple syrup. There's definitely no bacon flavor there. There's none of that smokiness or meatiness you'd expect. There's a little taste of that artificial banana flavor on the back end. And I really don't identify anything in here as peanut butter. I'm mostly getting a sweet chocolate. This is almost like a Godiva cream liqueur. It's so sweet and so chocolatey, but it's missing almost all of the flavors that are supposed to be in there. Overall, not good. So what can you do instead of spending over $30 to buy an entire bottle of this? Let me show you. For under $30, you can pick up something like this Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, and this is a 1.75 liter. You're getting so much more value for your money, and it's a lot more versatile. With this, you're going to be able to make old fashions, Manhattans, blood and sand, any whiskey cocktail you want, in any flavor you want, instead of being locked into this overly sweet, artificially flavored nonsense. So, what if you want a flavored whiskey? What if you saw this bottle of peanut butter, bacon, banana whiskey and thought, that sounds like a good idea? Instead of spending your money on those overpriced, sugary, artificially flavored bottles, get a bottle of a cheap, decent bourbon, a mixing glass, and whatever flavor you want to add. You want peanut butter? This is a powdered peanut butter. You can find this at almost any grocery store, and we're going to take 1 bar spoon of that, 2 ounces of our Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, and now instead of this weak 35% whiskey, we're using a full 50% Bottled in Bond whiskey for less than this. And now we need to sweeten it up a little bit, but you can control the sweetness instead of just getting what they give you here. So we're going to go with a 1/4 ounce of honey syrup. Now, because we're using the powdered peanut butter, before we add ice, we're going to give this a quick stir and make sure all of that peanut butter is dissolved in here. Now we're going to add some ice. And let's give that another stir. Basically, what we're making here is a peanut butter and honey old-fashioned. It's going to be so much better than the flavored whiskey and a better value, and we'll also be able to make so many other cocktails with this. Now let's strain that into a rocks glass over a cube of ice. Now let's give it a try. Oh, that is so much better. You get all the flavor of the bourbon in there. It's not covered up with those artificial flavors and all that sugar. There's still some really nice oaky notes you'd expect out of a whiskey, but it's also packed with that peanut butter flavor and just enough sweetness from the honey syrup. What if you really wanted to do the peanut butter, banana, and bacon flavors of this midnight snack? Well, what I'd suggest is garnish this with a strip of candied bacon, and instead of the honey syrup, sweeten it with a banana liqueur. Now, normally you'd have some bitters in an old-fashioned, but I think the savoriness of the peanut butter in here really acts as the bitters and really gives you a nice flavor. I did mention the versatility of buying a bourbon and flavoring it yourself however you like, so let's make another one. How about something to match that peach Crown Royal that everybody seems to be buying? We're going to use some canned peaches. And what I want is about 2 bar spoons of this peach syrup that they're sitting in. It seems a little light. Let's go 4 spoonfuls. Once again, 2 ounces of our bourbon. And you can get some peach bitters. Fee Brothers makes a good one, but in this case, I'm going to use some black walnut bitters because I'm all out of peach. Let's give that a stir. Now we're going to strain this over a large cube of ice. And we'll garnish with one of these slices of peach. And there you have my replacement for Crown Royal Peach, a peach old-fashioned. It's really good. It's got some subtle peach notes. If you want it to be a little stronger or sweeter, you can always add in a little bit more of this peach syrup. All right, if you're not sold on the idea of just mixing quick old fashions instead of buying flavored whiskeys, let's do one more to show you how simple it really is. You can pick up these flavored syrups for coffees in just about any grocery store. I went to the Torani website and looked at how many flavors they have. It is ridiculous. Whatever flavor you may want in your whiskey, you can pick up a syrup for it and make your own quick old fashioned at home. Let's make this one right in the glass. We're going to start with about 1/4 ounce, maybe a little heavier. Since this is salted caramel, I like it a little sweet. Once again, add our bourbon. And then for bitters, we're going to use some Angostura cocoa bitters that I think will pair well with those caramel flavors. Give that a stir right in the glass. Let's give it a taste. Oh, it's like candy. It's sweet. There's a clear caramel flavor that really pairs well with the oaky notes of the bourbon. It's a salted caramel, so there's that little savory hint of salt in there. And then the bitters add just a hint of cocoa. I've tried drinking the Crown Royal salted caramel straight. and it is syrupy. It is just too sweet. This is nicely balanced. You still get those flavors. If anything, I think these flavors are a little more real and accurate than what I'm getting in the Crown Royal. And we could keep going all day. I could keep finding other flavors to add to this bourbon and make more old fashions that would replace any flavored whiskey that you would ever find. So if I was to have these 3 drinks as flavored whiskeys, you're looking at least $90 in bottles sitting here. We'd have to buy a peanut butter whiskey, we'd have to buy a peach whiskey, and a salted caramel whiskey at about $30 a bottle. Or this one bottle that I think I got for $29 that is almost 3 times the size of this one. And you end up with a much higher quality drink. Now, before I end the video, I do want to point out that I don't hate all flavored whiskeys. What really gets me is the sugar. There's too much sugar, you can't balance it for a cocktail, you can't make a decent drink with it. But there are some, like this Plantaray cut and dry coconut. This is made by putting the coconut meat into the rum barrels, and you get all that flavor of coconut, but they don't add any sugar. So you end up with a dry rum that you could use in any rum cocktail, but with a hit of coconut flavor that really complements a lot of tropical drinks. You could do the same thing by taking some unsweetened shredded coconut, adding it to a bottle of your favorite rum, letting it sit for a couple of days, and you're going to have a nice coconut flavored rum that has no sweetness, and you can adjust it for your own cocktail recipes. I hope you liked the video, because this may be my full-time job for a while. I was recently laid off, so do me a favor, like and subscribe, let YouTube know that you liked the video, and I'll talk to you next time.